You all
All
right?
right. Yeah, I like Bailey's, but it kind of messes me up. Not in a fun way, but plays with my lungs.
I want to play with
You want to play with my lungs too?
it.
I bet.
Anyways, so before we get all perverted again.
You mean before you get all perverted? I'm never perverted.
Really?
I'm a goddamn saint.
You're the one that usually start like, oh, it messes with my throat and my
Why
lungs.
you always? All right, can you do me a big favor when you're doing impressions? Can you not do the same one for your wife as you do for your mother? I don't. Oh my
What the fuck
god!
are you talking? I do not have the same experience. No. Listen, when I do my
Well,
when I do, let's get this straight. All right, this isn't no like fucking
okay,
this is no Odyssey. This is not no Odyssey
okay.
complex bullshit right now.
Oedipus. Yeah, I actually had to. Our daughter was reading the book for school. It was one of her required readings was about Oedipus, so that was interesting. But
Was
no,
it Oedipus or
doing
Odyssey?
it. Okay, all right. It's no, it's not from Odyssey.
Or like because I thought you like you have
Odyssey
the
is a
Odyssey
completely
complex.
different. So Odyssey is a different. I'm not sure if it's written by the same person. I don't want to say no, but maybe it is. But the story of Oedipus is as a different story.
Mm. Well, because I thought they
It is
got
a Greek myth, though.
yeah, because I thought they got the Odyssey complex based on the story Odyssey. I mean, I didn't.
No, it's
I
not.
felt like it
Okay,
was one
listen.
of the
It's
same.
not an Odyssey. Okay, because the words sound similar doesn't mean it's the same.
All right, well, how about
Like
you enlighten me in that?
well, that's what I'm trying to do. Odyssey is a different story than Oedipus.
Okay.
Oedipus, like puss at the end, like pussy puss, Oedipus.
Oh, I
Okay,
thought it was
and
like R.
Odyssey,
Kelly piss.
R. Kelly. What do you? Hold on,
Um,
hold on. Yes, sweetie. Just wanted to say that the Oedipus name Oedipus comes from the fact that his feet were injured when he was young. You heard that?
no,
She
I didn't hear that. What
clarified it. There you go. She said
did she say?
the reason his name was Oedipus is because his foot was injured when he was young. Oh, so actually has something to do with like the foot. Because his parents,
Tell her to come closer. I can't hear her.
Okay, can we not talk about Oedipus right now? I'm assuming. Well, I want to say it. Man, you want to find out the meaning of Oedipus? How about you check the etymology of the word? Okay. Do your research. Don't depend on other people to do the research for you, because that's how propaganda works and how you can be blinded with stupidity. Later.
Listen,
Thank you.
motherfucker. Look, don't make me come over here and whoop your behind. I'm gonna come through with my whole. Oh wait. She in the room still? I don't want to cuss you out, but while she's still there,
She's not. She's gone.
she's not. All right. Good. Anyway, as I was saying, don't get smart with me, young lady.
What were we talking about? Do you remember?
All right, we were
Before
talking about.
Oedipus and Oedipus and Octopussy got involved? Odyssey and Oedipus are two different people. Odyssey is a location, or is a book about traveling to a location or some shit, and then Oedipus is a person.
All right, well, there you go. Well, thanks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know what you meant, because Oedipus is supposedly got married to his mother and all that stuff, but no, that's not the same thing. What I meant is this, okay? Do an impression of your mother.
All right, usually goes like this. Yeah, Mac. Oh, you think this boy is? Oh, I have no life in America, Mac. Oh, Mac. Oh. It's on me.
Okay, now do an
Mac's
impression
son.
of. Oh, you're
My
still going.
son
Okay.
does not respect me at all, Mac. Oh, not at all, Mac. At all. Oh, look at my life in America. That's my mom.
Okay.
You,
Now
on
do an
the other
impression.
hand,
Yeah, do an impression of me.
okay, like this. Oh, sorry. Every time I do an impression, I have to touch my chest like I'm rubbing my titties. me love you long time.
I think you got me so confused with some other bitch. Uh,
Oh man, good times, good
uh,
times. Anyways, so before we get all
see,
perverted and shit,
that's what I'm
so
saying. You're the one that starts.
they do not start. They do not sound the same. One of them sound miserable. The other one just
They
sounds.
both, yeah, okay, but they all make the same noises. It's like, dude,
Listen,
can you catch a breath instead of just expelling it very slowly all the time?
it's very hard for me to make a bitch voice. I'm not like
I know it is, but we're not all.
I have the same voice for all females.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you, Mr. Oedipus.
Out of pussy.
See, I knew that was gonna come. I beat you to it.
You fucking perv.
I just know you too damn well.
I love you. Bye.
All right, so
Anyways, what were we talking?
we were
So,
talking about parents.
mm,
There was something I did want to ask you based on what you were talking about before. Oh, yes, you said, right? You
mhm,
said that at one point you finally put your foot down. You kind of, you like to use the phrase put your mom in your place, but
yeah.
basically just told her off when she was just kind of going in on you, right?
Mhm,
um, well, I know this story. I don't necessarily want you to tell me the story as much as because in the last time we talked and earlier when we were talking, you were saying that you can get to your mom psychologically, and then you were saying that you you had that conversation with your mom at some point where you kind of, using your phrase, put her in her place. Was that a psychological way that you did it, or do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I know what you're trying to say. All right. One of the things that I had to learn, right? Basically, is like, all right, because when you don't have like like a father figure, right, within the household, so you could actually see the conflict resolution between parents. So then I couldn't tell the difference between, you know, putting my foot down versus being disrespectful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because to your parents, every time you stand up and actually put your foot down, that is a sign of disrespect, especially in the
Yeah.
Haitian culture, you know. So then, and which is why, and that is not just in the Haitian culture, also see in the African American culture, which is why you have like so many guys that have this frustration and they cannot express it towards their mother, so then they're taken out on random females that had nothing to do with upbringing,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So now so the difference I had to learn is like, look, I had to treat my mother the same way I would treat any other female, right? Or anybody as a whole. It's more like this is my
Another
barrier.
human. Yeah.
Yeah, another human being. So I had to at first I had to destroy the illusion of the goddess, the illusion
Of
of
power.
yeah, the illusion of power, the illusion of the mom's above reproach, right?
Yeah.
So once I
Okay,
was
so
able to
the
do that,
illusion of superiority then.
yes, that illusion of superiority, right? So
Okay.
once I was able to do that, then it became easier for me to actually tell her, hey, you're wrong. Don't do that. You know, it's kind of like treating her not like she's inferior to me, but more like, I guess, in
You're
a
not
way, like,
inferior to her.
yes, I'm not inferior to her, right? And at first, she couldn't handle it, right? Because I remember, like when I was 17, right? The first, it's funny, 17 years old, my mom still trying to whoop my ass.
Makes sense.
So, yep. So then it was like, so she was trying to punish me for something that I didn't do, right?
Mhm.
And then when she tried it, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna get punished for it. And then she started to get frustrated, and then she attacked me. So I held
Mm.
her hand, right?
Physically.
Yeah,
Okay.
physically attacked me, right? So I held her hand and shit like that, right? So I'm like, no, you're not gonna hit me, right? So she's struggling. She tried to like get out of my hole. She tried to get out of the hole, out of the hole that I held her in and shit like that. And then out of frustration, she just like bit me right on my neck like a fucking vampire.
On your neck?
Yes, it's like the not my neck, but like part like
Like a
between my neck
trapped
and my
animal.
shoulder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
Yeah. So and then I didn't react. She just
I
like
would do
keep
the same
biting and
thing if
biting.
you held my ass down.
So
That's why you
so and then
learn to stay. Sorry.
so then so which was I think was the scary part to her because like I have learned ever since I
What are
was
you
a
gonna
kid,
do
right?
now?
Yeah, like I have learned ever since I was a kid, right? Every time my mom punished me, like I would look her in the eye while she's hitting me, and then
Hmm.
she couldn't get any sort of reaction. I really trained myself to like, and that's when the scary part started to occur because she would like
Okay.
let's say like she would start hitting me with this electric cord, right? And then before, as when you were a kid, you would start crying. But as so then when I train myself, I'm like, maybe she's enjoying the fact that I'm crying. She enjoying
Yeah,
the
I
fact
was
that
just
I'm actually getting
sorry. Do
pain
you
out of
mind
it.
if I interject a little bit? Because I was going to say, do you think that in your child's mind, you noticed or you interpreted it that she's not punishing you for a crime, she's enjoying your reaction to the punishment?
Yes, yes. And there was some merit to it. The merit is that like, especially when I get punished for things that I know for a fact that I wasn't wrong, you
Yeah,
know? So then because like growing up, I started to develop my own sense of morality, my own sense
yeah.
of principles, right? And it's
Hmm.
like I kind of get a mixture of looking up to my grandparents, looking up to my dad, and then looking up to my cousin. Basically, like some the men that was involved in my life. So then I kind of it was like everything that my mom was doing, I try to do the opposite because to me that's
Mm.
like okay, if I'm not doing what she's doing, then that must be the right thing, you know.
Yeah.
And so when once I stopped crying, right? At the beginning, when I stopped crying, right? No sort of reaction. Like I would like she would go harder and harder to try to get me to cry, and then I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So like which was like and then her eyes used to get lit up like what the fuck? Like I'm possessed by a demon or something, right? And
Mm.
then I would look at her in the eye as she's hitting me. And then even though like tears would stream down my face, I would just still stare at her, like keep that eye contact, as if like.
Mm.
And the part about it was like there was no hatred, there was nothing. There was like just emptiness, and that psychological aspect of just looking at her, looking into her eyes, like I would not look away. I think
Mm.
that scared her a lot more than if I was crying,
Yeah.
right? You know,
Because
and
that's
then
when she probably realized she has no psychological control over you whatsoever.
yeah, and to me that was victory enough.
It was.
You know?
It was.
So so then as I start to get older now, right? So then she realized that hitting me wasn't really having the same sort of effect.
She
So
wasn't
then
getting the pleasure from it anymore.
exactly. So even when I move here in the States, and then now one of the things that she started to realize that every time she punished me, I just whatever she was punishing me for, I eliminate that threat. So therefore, like, okay, for example, I remember one time she actually hit me while I was at a store buying me some clothes and stuff like that, right? Because I didn't
Mm.
want to get the clothes that she was getting me for. So then she hit me right in front
So
of everybody.
she was buying the clothes, or you were buying the clothes?
She was buying the clothes,
Okay.
you know? That was like school
And
clothes and
you
stuff like that.
just
I was
didn't
like,
want the clothes that she was picking up for you.
yeah, I didn't want it.
Okay.
So she hit me in the middle of the store, like in front of everybody, right? So
What do you
and
mean she
then
hit you? Like how?
like started like
Like
slapping me and all that shit.
just a. Okay, so she just slapped you once or repeatedly.
Oh, repeatedly, like she was like,
Okay.
like she
She was
was,
kept going. Okay.
yeah, she was striking me and shit like that, right? And then after
Yeah.
that happened, and that was the last time I ever like asked her for anything financially, right?
Yeah.
So then I cut off that ball.
Yeah.
So anything that she could use against me, I cut it off. So then
Yeah.
she was
Okay.
running out of so then she was running out of things to use against me and shit, right? So that's like, you know, I
She
bought my
was
own
losing
car.
her hold on you.
She was losing everything.
Yeah.
And the thing about it though is like I never disrespected her. And that was the
Yeah.
pleasure I was getting from it
Yeah, because you never had to.
because I was still within the bound of my culture, right? Never
Yeah.
have to disrespect my mom, but at the same time, I was still like,
A stubborn little fuck.
yeah, anything that she was able to use, everything that she was able to use against me, I was able to turn that around to the point where it's like, just because I'm in the house with you, you're still alone. Like
Yeah.
she would come home, like she would come home and shit like that, right? And then I would be in my room, and then she would try to make up something, like she would try to pick up a fight with me, right? And then she would
Mm-hmm.
just ramble about something, and I would just look at her, like, don't say anything, don't say anything. I would just like let her talk to the point, like she started to get
So do you think?
very, very uncomfortable.
So do you think she was trying to pick a fight with you because she was just frustrated over the day and looking
That
for
too, and
someone to relieve that stress on?
well, that was part of it, and also the fact that like she was trying to see if I have any sort of life, any sort of, because it's all about energy, right?
Yeah.
You know, like I would say, women can be a little bit of emotional vampires. So
Oh,
I know
even
the,
more than a little. Yeah, we are complete emotional vampires.
you know,
We live off
so
them.
I know exactly. So I know that she needed my emotion to live off of, whether it's, me, getting frustrated, or, to
I
have a
think
fight
she
and all
just
that shit.
wanted
But
to break your spirit and she couldn't, and that was what was frustrating her.
exactly. So then therefore when she couldn't find anything, like just as this blank canvas, you know,
Mm.
so when she couldn't find that, then the frustration becomes to like something that's like scary. It's like, am I becoming a psychopath? And I was deep down, I was enjoying the fact that I was getting through to her because I was becoming unpredictable.
You were getting to her, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Well, that
So
was the little rebel in you saying you can break my ass, but you can't break my spirit.
you know, but also
That
that
was
was
the
the
little
part where,
Haitian in you.
and this is also the part where like when I became like very sexually active, right?
Yeah,
Because I had to get my frustration out somehow, right? So
someone,
that's when
yeah.
I became, yeah. So that's when I became this fuck boy, you know. So it's like I wouldn't do drugs, I wouldn't do none of this bullshit, but I would tear a bitch ass up. So, which is funny because that was also the aspect that you liked about me, that psychopath that was,
Okay,
you were
hold
able
on.
to.
Don't assume you know what my psychological reasoning was for things that you're still struggling to figure out what your psychological reason is.
Hmm. Well, no, but what I'm saying is that, like, okay, when we first got together, right, it was very hard for you to get past this barrier that I built over time,
Yeah.
right? And
See,
the
I
only
prefer
time I
you
was,
talking more about your actions and your reasons for your actions than you trying to
okay, okay,
interpret my actions because a lot of times you're a little off.
well,
It's
okay,
like
I
me
might be a
trying
little
to
off, but
interpret why you did certain things and then being surprised that I'm not understanding it
all right,
fully because
all
I
right.
don't have the full picture.
What I'm saying is this, right? Um, Sex was one of the ways I was able to express myself, right?
Hmm.
And then after that, everything used to be shut down.
You,
So then,
you're stuttering.
all right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so sex was one of the ways I was able to
Oh, whoa, you really sputtered now. You just went, and that was it. And he froze.
loves you. You back?
You're back?
Yep, I'm back.
Okay. So sex was,
Sex was the outlet.
yeah,
You know, was
the coping
how
mechanism.
you were, yeah, exactly, the coping mechanism and shit like that. To kind of kept me in the verge of becoming a psychopath,
It kept you
right?
sane. Yeah, that makes sense. That's probably
Yeah.
why a lot of people are looking at the insults like, ooh, they're a step away from homicide because they don't
You
have
know?
that sexual outlet that a lot of other people do.
Yeah.
And
And
that can create a lot of unnecessary buildup. It really can.
mhm. But
So I can understand.
here's the funny part though, right? Because it's like that that psychopathic part of me was a bit scary, not because that I was afraid that I might hurt somebody, but I was afraid that I would actually enjoy it.
Yeah. And you
You
still
know,
have that fear, don't you?
I still do, but the thing about it though is like, but once I start to surround myself with people that actually care about me, and then I then also care about them, so then it gives me a bigger reason not to be a psychopath, not to be evil, you know. So then it keeps in balance, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like
It gives you a reason to discipline yourself a little
yes, exactly,
or keep yourself
exactly.
disciplined. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm. But anyway, what was I? So the last time my mom so learning to basically break that illusion of control with my mom. But then hating me wasn't doing it no more. And then like I was saying, like, so 17 years old, punish me over something that I didn't do, right?
Hmm.
And then so I was like, no, I'm not gonna kneel. I'm not gonna do none of that stuff. And so then she got frustrated, attacked me. I held her hand,
When was
and
this? This was when you were 17?
yep, 17 years old. 16, 17, around actually I was 16 years old. Yep. 16 years old,
Okay.
turning
I
17.
think that the time that you actually, really stood your ground and made her see that you're a man was a lot longer than that. Was actually recent, but we'll talk about that
Well,
later.
yeah,
Go on.
that was the that was one of the beginning stage, right?
Okay, so
And then
17 was the beginning stage. Okay.
yeah, so then that's when she bit me, and
Is
I
that where
just
that illustration is from? Is from that time?
what happened?
Is that where that illustration that you have is from?
No, the illustration that I have was from a couple years ago. That was
Okay, so
just
she likes
recent.
to bite you.
Yeah, well, because
If
she could
all
have hit
else
me more.
fails, bite.
Because that's the thing. Because like because she would try something, right? And then
Mhm.
when I wouldn't go for it, so then she would then attack me, and then I would just held her down, right? She's my mom.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna hit her, and she knows it, you know. So the frustration of her being stopped by her son, it's like it's embarrassing. So
Yeah.
so anyway, she could get some of that power back. So then she would just she would just bang.
That's what it is the fight for power, right? Because your mom, as a single mother, she's got all the power, whether she deserves it or not, whether it
Yeah.
makes sense or not. That's why I
Hmm.
think a lot of women tend to be, what is the word I'm looking for? Very oppressive. And we
Yeah.
tend to run our things like a dictator. And I don't think that's healthy. And that's why I
Hmm.
think men provide that buffer where they turn around and be like, ooh, hold on, woman, you're going a little too far with that shit. Okay,
Yeah.
calm down.
But here's the funny thing though, right? Because it's like because I was around chaos, right? It was very chaotic. It's funny because I had learned to control her through that chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Order out of
so I
chaos.
yeah, exactly. So then I have developed this sense of like that like as you can see, that's why I was always so calm. And despite
Yeah.
the situation and shit like that, things that I should be freaking out, then that's when you see me more in control of things. Because I was
Mm.
always surrounded by chaos. If he wasn't from the house, he was growing up in Haiti. It was all these
Yeah.
different things that actually take me into this like I found this pleasure in the madness. But anyway,
I
so
think you found yourself in the eye of the storm and just keep yourself there whenever necessary. Whenever there is a
mhm.
storm going around, you find that little eye and you stick there mentally,
And
you know?
the eye in the storm was actually me retrieving it within myself, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So, but anyway, so now,
A lot of
so
warriors talk about that zone that you entered, you know?
mhm. So then, so now after that episode, so that's when my mom went from being authoritative or dictatorial, and then she was more
Dictatorial, yeah?
yep, and then she becomes more whiny, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, poor
Needy.
me, feel
She
sorry.
became
Yeah,
more needy.
exactly. Oh, poor
So
me,
it's
feel
like the
sorry for
complete
me
opposite.
type of
If
shit.
one way doesn't work, I'm gonna do the opposite and see if that
Yeah,
works.
exactly. So
That's actually very smart, you know?
yes, it was, but I knew her too well enough to actually not to develop any sort of sympathy for her, you know. Like you don't understand, like
No, I
yeah,
think it was just too late for that to work anymore. It would have
yeah,
worked
it
had
was
she applied that technique earlier in your life,
early
but I
on,
think
yeah,
by that time
exactly,
it was too
early on,
late.
you know. So then my relationship with my mom was more like it was more like a duty instead of like a love. You know, it's like okay,
Yeah.
my duty is as a son to take care of you in your old age,
But
right?
in a way, that's kind of how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a duty, not just, like I said, a lot of times single mothers use up their son's love so much that the son doesn't have any love left for any other female. And that love is supposed to be from your husband, not from your son. So that's
Yeah,
how that's one way that the cycle continues in the wrong direction.
hmm yeah, but
Mhm.
here's the difference, right? Here's the difference. Like okay, like as a breadwinner, you know,
Mhm.
like I love taking care of my family, you know, like I love the fact that you and Crimson and myself, we don't really need much. You know, we got everything that we need as far as expenses, um, psychological and emotional, bound and all that stuff, right?
Well,
So
we're
then,
simple people. Yeah.
yeah, I know we are simple people, but like me being a provider is something that I really love, right?
Yeah.
Especially doing it for my family. But as
Yeah.
far as like, let's say my mom, it's not something that I actually love. It's something that I know is just a duty
Yeah.
because
You have to.
because I know that the fact that there is no appreciation that comes with that aspect, it's more like okay, if she ever call me, like she's like, okay, she's not gonna ask me nicely, hey, Art, I need some money. Um, what can you do? And I'll
Yeah.
just
Would you be able to help me out?
yeah, and then so get it done and all that shit. And then, but I'm not expecting any sort of thank you or any sort of I am thankful to have a son. Like none of that bullshit. Like any sort of appreciation, I don't expect that from her. You know.
Mm.
So
Do you
then,
think that part is the part that's the lack of closure? That part that's missing?
um,
Do you think if you got that from her, you would feel like there has been closure enough for your relationship to advance to where you think it need, to a more healthier, um, to
yeah,
a
but
more healthier relationship?
um, I think like our relationship is as healthy as it's gonna get.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying because at one point you said it's lack of closure that's causing the strife, right? So that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. Do you think that if she was to show you that appreciation for you fulfilling your duty as a son, do you think that would help heal some of the hurt that's inside?
No, because I wouldn't trust it.
Mm.
I would think of it as being manipulative. Because a zebra doesn't change its stripe.
So you would
But
see it as just another face
a
she's
ploy,
putting on to get her way.
yeah, like a ploy. Like okay, what is she trying to get out of me? You know.
Okay.
So, and the thing is, like, I think because she has been this way for so long, I don't think she can actually find anything else. And the best that I can do is knowing that okay, that's who she is, and that's I have to accept that and make sure that I do my job as her son to make sure that she's not wanting for anything, you know?
Yeah.
But also to make sure that I have the self respect to not let her treat me however she thinks she can do it to get away.
Well, see, that's my question is like, if you're saying that she is how she is, she's not going to change, how then do you find a way to get the respect that you deserve and you need
Oh,
from
it's
her?
simple. It's simple. Like it's she can either talk to me with respect or she just not gonna hear from me. You know? And
Okay.
last
So
time,
it's
like
your so the response that she was craving by through the beatings is now the response she's whether she in order for her to get any response from you whatsoever, she has to do what you demand of her.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Punishment and reward. It works. You just got to apply it
Well,
correctly.
well, yeah, exactly. You know, because like for example, the last time we got into a fight. Remember, like when like that's where the drawing was inspired from, right?
Okay. Well, tell me about it.
Okay, so
I mean, I
anyway,
know about it, but since we're talking about the conversation, tell the people about it. There we go.
yeah. So basically, like she Haitian parents, they kind of always gear towards, let's say, white collar attire. Like say, dress clean, shave head and all that stuff, right?
Sunday's
And
best.
yeah, Sunday's best. Exactly, So, being a pretty boy type of shit. So, and growing up, I kind of got tired of this shit. I kind of got tired of the fact that like I have to impress other people.
Mm.
And me looking the way I look, let's say, my dreads, not shaving and all that stuff, more like a defense mechanism because only the people that I talk to are the people that I address, you know? So then, therefore, if I don't want to talk to you, my look alone doesn't look approachable for you to try to strike a conversation. And
Yep, I completely understand that.
sometimes you have those who are brave enough, who are actually are curious enough to start a
Mm.
conversation with me. Like, let's say you have the old lady be like, "Oh my God, I like your dread. How do you do it like this?" You know.
So you don't take
So it's
offense
like,
when people like comes up to you and start touching your hair.
no, they don't come up to me and start touching my hair. No, no, I don't let people do that. You know.
Okay.
But it's more like they would
Because that's
ask
kind of
me.
weird when
They would,
strangers are like, "Hey."
yeah, exactly. I mean, if they ask me, right? If they ask me
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, can I touch it?" I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
But as far as I'm not gonna let somebody be like, "Oh,
Oh my God. You know how bad this. Okay. I just had. Do you know? Never mind. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
oh, what the hell?"
You froze.
Okay, cool.
You froze.
So yeah, I'm back. So then the beef
Welcome
that
back.
I had was so the beef that I had was that because I'm not trying to look like a blue collar like a white collar type of guy, right? So then or try to look like a lawyer or a doctor or somebody that's somewhat important. I don't care about the status quo uniform, right? So
Okay.
then my mom then took it as in like, as she always does, always go to the extreme of if you don't have this, if you don't comport to this sort of image that you should as the so-called respectful black man or blah blah blah, and you're either you in drugs, like gang related type of shit.
Okay.
And
So she's
my
judging you based on how you choose to carry, how you choose to look.
exactly right. So and then as she's going on and all this stuff, and then of course, so the rhetoric always come. So the rhetoric came through about like that she regrets having kid. She wished that I was never born, and she even wished I was dead.
God damn,
Right after
that's
she went
fucking
through, right?
extreme.
Oh yeah, I know. But it wasn't the first time she told me like she wished I was dead. As she
Yeah.
said that, so I'm like, okay, well, keep going. I want you to get everything out of your chest, right? So I started having a big
Speak
smile
now
on
or
my face.
forever hold your peace, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So because after she kept going, I'm like, and then when she was finished, I'm like, you sure about that? That's all you have to say to me, mom? You done? And then she let out a couple of, she let off a couple of rounds again. So I'm just probing her, right?
Machine gun mom, huh? Oh, you froze again. Yeah, you froze really bad, babe.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, I'll be back.
So all right.
Are you back?
So then yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
Okay.
So after she was done, like cussing me out and all that stuff, and then so I was like calm, my composure, and I'm like, and so I told her, I'm like, all right, mom. Here's the thing. Usually, when people are actually putting others down, is because that's how they truly feel inside. Have this-
Hold on, because you're stuttering. You're gonna have to re-say everything in a minute. Sorry, it's winter is coming, so I've got to cool.
you
Yeah, you're really breaking up there, babes. Sputtering like an old kettle.
this thing's really pissing me off. Be back.
Yeah, I think it's just your Wi-Fi connection. It says to
Yeah,
be
I know.
closer to your Wi-Fi. So are you close to your router?
Oh, let me get closer to my router.
Yeah, try that. Because it
Yeah.
does say that when you first log
Okay.
in to try and get closer to
All
your
right.
router. So.
All right. So then, so I told her, I'm like, well, usually when people try really hard to put others down, is because they're trying to project what they truly feel about themselves. So then, perhaps you, you know,
Oh
perhaps
shit.
you feel like you are
Did
nothing.
you
Perhaps you.
wait?
So I was like, so I
Oh,
told
I'm
her, I'm
sorry.
like, well, maybe you. So I thought, I'm like, well, maybe you feel like you wasted your life. You feel like you are worthless. You are a worthless human being. That's how maybe you feel about yourself. And you know it's too late for you to do anything about your life, to change your life. But then therefore you try to put that pressure upon others. But deep down you know that you are nothing. Maybe you're right.
Ooh.
So and
I'm
I
just
know,
happy I wasn't there because everything would turn around about this white girl got in your head.
so when I said that, and then like I saw her eyes just get bulged, like she was about to explode or something. And then I saw her, she just walked, she just got off the bed and she just walked towards the kitchen and she just grabbed a knife, right?
Jesus.
So and then that's when I'm like,
I brought you into this world and I will damn
so
sure attempt to take you out.
yo,
Wow.
so she when she pulled the knife out on me and stuff like that, right? Like those kitchen knife, not them little, them shit you chop tomatoes with, right? So
Yeah.
she pulled it out, and then she was like, "Get the fuck out!" I'm like, "Well, why? You don't like hearing what I'm saying? I mean, you tell me some of this, you tell me worse things all the time. Maybe you should hear what I have to say." And then so she was like, "Get out, or I'm gonna stab you." She's like started
You
wilding
spent
out. I'm like,
way too
"Well,
much time around white people.
so so." So when she said that,
Oh
I'm like,
my
"Well,
goodness.
I mean, you could try if you want. Go ahead." And then that's when my cousin was there. My cousin got out of her room and she was like, "What the fuck is going on?" So I'm like, yeah, I guess my mom want to stab me, so I'm just gonna give her, let her have a try. And
Let
then
her
my
have
cousin
a
was
try.
like, Mark, just go over there, go to the other room. And then so I just went to the other room, and then as I'm walking away, so she called me a motherfucker, and Creole is like, go and get my mom. right?
Yeah.
So I started
Oh,
laughing.
get mama.
Yeah. So I started laughing. It's like, you calling me a motherfucker. You're on my mom. You know? and and then also I was like, what did you say? She was like, you heard me. So I said, I know, but I want to hear it again. So, to record it for the camera. And that's when she fucking lost it. So she just came towards me running, with like, when you're doing like bicycle with your arms.
Yeah.
Like a kid. So she tried to hit me. So that's when I started laughing. And the more I started
Oh boy.
laughing, the more I started laughing, the more she got pissed off and she tried to hit me some more. So I'm blocking everything. Remember, like, when we had that fight in England, and then I'm like saying, "Oh, it's good to
Which
have long
one? There
reach."
was a lot of those. Oh,
One of
with the
those,
frying pan
yeah, with the
and the
frying pan.
cereal. Yeah, yeah. The
uh,
head block.
so I'm laughing my ass off as I'm blocking it. 'Cause it's like everything feels like slow motion, right? It's like an
Yeah.
older person trying to hit you, and then you like, and then I'm just like, tapping the door, like, So then when she couldn't get to me, so she grabbed the chair. So she grabbed the chair. She like started to fence me like I'm a fucking lion or something.
Wow. With the knife and the chair.
No, at that time she didn't have the knife in her hand anymore,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Because if she had the knife while throwing the punches, she probably would have cut me at some point, right?
Yeah. So what happened to
But
the knife in the process? Did you take it?
well, because when I like, because when we went our separate ways, right, I'm going to the living room because when my cousin stepped in, right, when she had the knife.
Okay.
And then, so when we went through our separate, I'm going through the living room and she's going back to her room. So she put the knife back, she threw it in the sink, something like that, right?
Okay.
And as I'm walking away, so that's when she called me a motherfucker and shit.
Oh yeah, she wanted
And
to make sure she's the one that finishes on the last note.
yeah, so now as she attacking me, so I'm just like laughing my ass off. And then, afterwards, so she's like, she tried to, and I try to hit me with the chair, try to fence me. So I'm just holding the chair and still laughing, right? So the more I'm laughing, the more she's getting frustrated and she's getting more pissed off. And
I
then
know
like
that
she's just like,
feeling.
oh, she's just like cussing me out and all this shit. And every insult, and as a response comes with a laugh. And then so
Mhm.
she let go of the chair and just like, she just like plunged at me, right?
Lunged at you, yeah.
Yeah, she just lunged at me. And then as she lunged at me, so I just grabbed her two hands. And I'm like, Mom, you old. Stop that shit. Like, let me go, let me go, let me go. And I'm like, I'm down, I'm down. And then she didn't know what to do, so she just like the only thing she know how to do, but she's like, she just like sink her teeth in my arm, right?
Jesus.
So so then so she just bit my arm and she like that, and she would not let go, right? And
Mm,
then I'm like, all right, go ahead, take your time. Are you done? So I just like, because like she's older, right? And I'm
mm,
being, she kind of remind me of like when I used to play fight with Crimson. And then as she's
mm,
falling down, I'm making sure that she doesn't hurt herself. And then she just take on the
mm.
opportunity to throw in one last punch.
Yep. Every girl
That was
does.
my
Yep.
mom. Yep. So then
If all else
I'm making
fails, at
sure.
least call yourself a winner because you got that last word in or you got that last jab in. That's all that matters.
Uh,
Yep.
so I'm like, I'm trying to make sure that she, as I'm putting her on the couch, right? She doesn't hurt herself. And that's when like she just keep her teeth sink into my arm and shit like that. So I'm just like, all right, let me know when you're done. She's just not going, and I think her jaws hurt afterward. You know?
Yeah. Eventually, she's gonna have to. Her jaw's gonna get tired. Yeah.
And then afterward, when she finished biting me, I'm like, all right, you done? So she just like walked back into her room all fierce, like that, mumbling something to herself. And then
Mm.
and afterward, my other cousin Mark, he stepped out of his room, and then he was like, all right, what the hell's going on with y'all two?
Yeah.
I'm
So
like,
this was in
you
your
know what,
cousin's
man?
house, right?
Yeah, this was my cousin's house. Yeah.
Jesus.
And then she was like and then so I heard my mom, she was like cussing me out. Oh, I wish she was dead. Like um, I regret having you, blah blah blah, and all this shit. And I'm
You're
like,
not
all
my
right,
son. Yeah.
yeah, all this shit, right? So and then afterward, so as I was leaving, I'm like, all right, mom, this is what's gonna happen. this is not the first time this is not the first time that you told me that I was dead, right? But this is gonna be the last time. So it was nice knowing you, and I walked out.
Ooh.
And then that was the last time I actually talked to her, right? For like I think over 2 years, right?
Yeah,
She would
you can
like,
hold a fucking grudge.
oh, it's like, and then after I left and stuff like that, right? And then and then now, so I was able to so now I was able to put my guard down. So like, because before it was like I wasn't gonna show any weakness. So I call I don't think you were available
Yeah,
at the
because
time.
everybody in your family was like, you know how your mom is. It's just your
No,
mom.
I
It's
was like,
your
fuck
job
that.
to forgive her and all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, so I call,
I knew better
I
than
called
to
my
get involved.
so I called my
Mm-mm.
best friend and shit, and then I was like, oh, so I
I
called him.
thought I was
So
your best friend.
I got two best friends, you and Alex.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but it was evening time, so
Alex
it
is
was
awesome.
like yeah, so it was like early morning for you. So then, but it was evening time, so I call him, and I'm like frustrated. I'm like cussing up a storm, and then so
Mm.
I told him about what happened. He was like, ah, your mom beat you. Ah, welcome to the club. Yo, so and then I'm like, so at that time, like I start laughing, right? Because I'm like on the brink of tears and shit like that, right? I'm like this fucking
Yeah,
angry,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm like, I'm applying on, I'm like, I'm gonna make her life miserable for the next 10 years and all this shit. He's like, man, just
You and
come
your
over,
schemes, man.
you know. So
Yeah.
I went over his house and shit like that, right? So we just like chatting, him and his wife. So we were just like chilling. So I ate some food, grabbed some drink. So they saw the video about the whole thing, how it happened, because I did record that shit.
You did. I never seen the video. How come you never showed me the video?
Like I don't know if I still have it or not. It's like I have to fucking look for it. Um,
Man, I feel all left out and shit.
oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. You described it so
uh,
well. I feel like I was there.
oh man. So and then so that's what inspired that little
The
cartoon
drawing.
that I made, the drawing, like me holding up the phone as my mom just posing with the with the arm with a piece of the chair as well as the fucking her biting my arm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like you know what it is. Like after a while, like I think the more what parents don't understand, right? The more they overreact, the more they take things to the extreme, then the less effect then they actually have in their surroundings, the people around them. Because it's
Yeah.
like they abuse their power.
Yep.
You know,
Mm.
they're okay.
Yeah, we do.
It's like you know, it's like I'm always I'm happy most of the time, right?
Mm.
But yet for some reason, when we ask Nunya who she fears the most, she says me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, because
Because
you
she
appear to
knows
be,
that your ass, once your ass, I flip all the time. So she knows that, she already knows my level of anger. She doesn't know your level of anger. So that's what she fears is that unknown, which is what you're
yeah,
supposed to fear. Just like me, whenever I used to get in trouble when I was little, it was always my mom coming because my dad would work and all that stuff, right? And my mom would be at home
yeah.
back when I was little here in Poland. Anytime I get in trouble, my first words out of my mouth is, don't tell dad. That like the one thing that I fear the most is my mom saying the words, I'm gonna tell your father. Oh shit. And that's how it's
and
supposed to be.
mm, I think the thing about it is like our ability to carry out the threat is like, all right, when
A
I say
man's
something,
word is supposed to be his bond.
yeah. So like
Women
when I
don't
say
have that.
something, when I say something, I mean it. So then when I
Yeah.
told my mom it was nice knowing you, and it walked out,
Yeah.
and little did she know that was for like 2 years. She like never heard from me, right?
Yeah.
And I think okay, that happened. let's see, when did that happen? So let's say that was like what
2015,
three?
2016,
Yeah,
around there, right?
yeah, 2016, right? So then it was right before Thanksgiving. So then Thanksgiving rolled in, right? And then all the families get together and all that stuff. And the thing is, like, even though I was in the same vicinity as her, she didn't exist,
Yeah,
you know. And that was like my ability to make someone disappear out of my life is is very, I don't know.
I do that a lot too. So we share a similar trait in that. Is my only vengeance I have for people, for the most part, is just, you know what, you're never going to be a part of my life. But it doesn't seem like it's a uh strong reaction, right? I could be more vengeful, but I'm very petty. So I could actually
Mm,
cut people out of my life over the smallest things. Like if I start getting suspicious about your ass, you're out.
yeah, but like me cutting people out of my life is okay. Like I know the energy that I bring to
Yeah.
people's life, right? Or people's psyche and whatnot. So I understand that part, and I know that once it is taken away, and it's not being done out of anger or out of frustration. It's being done out of you just don't exist. You don't
Mhm.
matter to me to actually feel any sort of way, you know.
Exactly.
And I think that's
But I think
worse.
you wait longer than I do. Like you wait
Yes.
longer for the people. Like it's almost like your fuse is a little bit longer to cut them off than mine. Mine is a lot quicker. Because a lot of times you're the one that's like, oh, I miss this person, I miss that person, right? Like when we
Yep.
leave, when we move and we no longer are in contact with our friends. But I'm just like, yeah, okay, they've been in my life, now they're gone out of my life, but it's not a big issue.
Hmm.
So I'm not as sentimental when it comes to memories. So
Well,
so it
it's
takes you a lot longer to cut a person out of your life than it does me.
hmm. Well, you know what
Like,
it is like. Okay, my circle is my circle is very small, right?
mm,
And I'm very careful about who I actually call friend. And then once somebody's my friend, then regardless how long that has been in between us talking and whatnot, then when I see that person again, hey, it's all love, right?
yeah.
So therefore, it's like
So it takes a lot longer for you to cut that person off. That's what I'm
yes,
saying.
yes,
That's what I was saying. Is me, I'm petty. I'll call you my friend. We'll be friends, and I'll break my back for your ass. But as soon as I get suspicious about your behavior, or you start acting shifty towards me, or mine, oh yeah, you're out of my life, and I ain't gonna miss you.
yeah. But see, with me is the opposite, right? Because it will take me a long time before I actually go the extra mile for somebody. Right?
Yeah,
That person
yeah,
have to prove themselves to me, you
yeah,
know. And then it's like it take me a long time before I call somebody my friend. Yeah, I can be.
yeah,
It could be my associate and whatnot. It takes a long time before I actually see anybody as my friend.
yeah.
And
But
once
then
that
you're a
person,
lot more loyal to them
yes, exactly.
because it takes you a
You
lot
know,
longer. Yeah,
well, yeah. Oh man.
yeah. But the reason I cut people off is because I'm the type of person to help. I put myself into my friendships, right? I don't just have friends whom I just talk to on a regular, like once in a blue moon, and I just don't do anything but we'll just say, hey, how you doing? Yeah, we good. I literally help them out to a point where my friends don't talk to me unless they need something. And then they
Oh
know
yeah.
that I will do whatever I can within my power to help them out. Right. So
Hmm.
because I throw myself in so much and because I put so much of my energy into a friendship, I know how to set limits and boundaries. And those boundaries seem petty, but that's why I said as soon as I feel like someone's being shifty, it's because I don't want to find out how much you can abuse my good heart. So I'm gonna cut
Like
you off.
the Polish say, right? When if you have a soft heart, you better have a hard ass.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's my way of that's my way of balancing the energies. That's my way of putting boundaries on how much energy a person is capable of taking from me,
Hmm.
right? Is by, oh, okay, I gave you all this energy of mine. Now you're starting to act shifty. Okay, I gotta be careful with you because you might be just trying to abuse the kindness of my heart. And I don't let people do that because I've been hurt in the past because of it. So now it's like, okay, we're caught. You go find somebody else to do that to me.
Yeah. I think over
Yeah.
time has to do with success and failure.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I don't see any need to keep someone who isn't loyal to me by my side.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm saying, Like I have loyalty to a person and I ain't gonna be I'm not gonna be shifty towards them. I'm not gonna try to abuse them in any way or abuse their friendship in any way. Okay? Because there might be misunderstandings and there's plenty of space to clear that misunderstanding. But if you're unwilling to actually have a conversation and you're like, let's just forget about it, let's not talk about it, nothing happened. Nah, fuck that shit. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for people like that because that's telling me this person isn't isn't clear in their intention.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't be around people
I
that
hear
are
you.
not clear about their intention. So that's why I just
So
cut them
how
off.
that
Now I don't miss
so how the
people.
hell this whole conversation turned into like a therapy session?
Does it matter?
No.
Exactly. It just did because that's where where it needed to go.
Hey.
That's all that happened.
All right.
It went to where it needed to go.
Sounds awesome. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna find out what the hell's going on with the
Yeah, check it
recording.
out to see if it's loading and all that stuff. So. And then
So
are we gonna continue do another one or is that it for tonight?
I think that's it for today.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is Arbanaka
And
and
serious.
Siri. Serious. I'm so
Oh yeah.
serious.
I'm
All right.
serious
So
because
share,
even
like.
when I'm joking, I'm serious. That's
That's a goofy ass pickup line.
not a pickup line. Who am I trying to pick up? My husband?
Yes. I'm not worth it.
Oh baby, you're worth everything.
Good. I love you, stroking.
Yeah, stroking your ego.
All right. Well, we'll chat in a bit, babe.
All right, sweetie. Love you.
All right. Mwah. I love you too, babe.
Bye
Good night.
everyone.
All right. Bye, everyone. Peace.